I am extremely proud of myself. That is because I sticked to my TBR, which I never do, to a T. I read each book on it, I finished it, and that makes me really happy. In total, I read 7 books, which will probably turn to 8 books because I'm currently reading a book right now and I'm probably gonna finish it, so I'm gonna say 8 books, so that's really cool. The first book I read in June was Forrest Gump by Winston Groom. This book was so good. It was so good. Okay, I want to say that it is so different from the movie. So very different, but at the same time, it has its similarities. I really enjoyed it. This book goes more, I would say, to the extreme. Forrest does a lot more crazy things in this book as opposed to the movie. I really enjoyed everything about this book, especially the fact that they take this character who's supposed to be an idiot, essentially, and he just is able to do so much. He's, you know, it's crazy. I can't even explain it, but it's really good and you should definitely read it. After that, I read City of Heavenly Fire by Cassandra Clare. I'm still not over this book. It was something. It was a roller coaster and I loved every second of it. I don't want to say anything to spoil the book, but really it's just so good. It was such a good conclusion. The Lost World by Michael Crichton is what I read after that, and this book was such an epic adventure, and again, I really did love every second of it. I will say though that it is completely different from the movie on so many levels. Like no, just like maybe you have some of the same character names and they do some similar things, but no, it's just completely different, and that really sort of irked me how they could take this book and then make that movie. Why couldn't it be more similar? Was this even a platform, or did they just do whatever the heck they wanted? I don't know. Nonetheless, I still love that movie, but this book is so on its own, but it's really good, so that's really cool too. Dinosaurs, Jurassic Park, you should read it. After reading that, I read the last book in the Lord of the Rings trilogy. I will not lie, I cried multiple times because it was so good. It got me right in the heart. This book is probably my all-time favorite fantasy trilogy series, whatever you want to call it. Granted, I haven't read many fantasy series trilogies, so there's that, but this really just tops the list. And if you haven't read these books, you really need to take the time, because the characters and the world, oh my gosh, the world, Middle Earth, I want to go there so bad. I can't. This book, all the feels. After that, I read another book that totally just blew my mind on the epic scale. I mean, it was so good, and that is The Shining by Stephen King. What can I say about this book? It is about a family who moves to this hotel because the father becomes the caretaker for this hotel during the winter while it's closed, and their son is sort of like this. He's like a mind reader sorta, and he's kind of psychic. They refer to it as shining in this book. He has a shine, and obviously while staying at this hotel, there's ghosts and previous murders and people go crazy. And if you haven't seen The Shining, you really need to watch the movie because it's amazing, and the book is so much better. I love the movie, but the book is so much better. It's just so good. Might creep you out a bit. It did terrify me at some points because there was this one part in this book that completely terrified me, and I had so much trouble going to sleep because I was scared. But nonetheless, it's really good. Read it. Just read it. The next book I read after that, I went into with zero expectations because, to be honest, I haven't really heard anything good about this book, and that's Shiver by Maggie Stiefvater. I didn't think I was gonna like it, and here's the thing, I kind of thought it was just okay. I don't know, it's hard to describe. Like, I actually sort of enjoyed it, but it wasn't great. I ended up giving it like 3.5 out of 5 stars. I don't think I'm gonna continue it on my own to go buy it full price, but if I were to see it at like a used bookstore or a Goodwill for like $1, I'd probably get it. But I'm not gonna go out of my way to continue to read these books just because I feel like the first book was okay, but I feel like it might go downhill from here, just being honest. I do have to say though, the characters were a little flat. I wasn't like invested in them. I didn't feel any connection into them, but it was an okay book. Werewolves, haven't read anything about those in a while, so that was pretty cool. And then the next one that I read was Full Tilt by Neil Shusterman. This book is freaking crazy. Oh, how do I describe it? Okay, it's a trippy book, I will say that. It's about a carnival. This boy named Blake has a little brother named Quinn, and his little brother is a troublemaker, and his little brother ends up going to this carnival. If you go to this carnival, you cannot leave until you go through 7 rides, and each of these rides portray a fear of yours, and it gets worse as you go continuing through the rides. And so he goes there and he has to save his brother, and he's the one who ends up having to go through all these rides. It's kind of creepy the way all the rides are portrayed. It's really well descriptive, and you really like, you're thrown in all these different directions, and it's really fun. It's like you yourself, you're in these rides, but it was really good. And again, it's Neil Shusterman. If you like Goosebumps, I would really recommend this because it has that vibe and that feel, and it was just really fun because I felt like I was a kid again watching Goosebumps and whatnot and reading those old books, so I really liked it. You should read it. Currently, I am reading the first graphic novel in Sin City. I just started this today and I'm more than halfway. I only have like a little, not even a third left. I have maybe 40 pages left, so I'm gonna finish this by today. And I just want to say, I will say this is the first graphic novel I have ever read, so it's pretty exciting, and I'm really enjoying this. It's so cool. It's so different from reading an actual book because I'm getting these pictures and then I kind of like picture it in my mind. It's kind of confusing and I don't know how to describe it. It's really cool, and I'm really loving the story. The movie's amazing, obviously, and the book's really cool too. I'm so excited to read more of the series, obviously, and yeah. And those are all the books that I have read in June. If you read any of these, leave comments below and we could talk about all the awesomeness of these books. Anyway, I'm dragging on. I'm gonna go. Bye!